In this tape, we will discuss the seller counseling interview. And if all of your prospecting has been successful, this is where you end up, at the first call to a seller. Whether it be expired, came out of an open house, for sale by owner, a referral, whatever it is, the first meeting with the seller sets the tone for everything. So this tape represents the most important skill you must have. As with any doctor, we've got to diagnose before we prescribe. This is the diagnostic interview with a seller. And I even separated this whole topic onto a separate video solely so the real estate industry would see that the interviewing and understanding the seller's needs is a separate step that must happen. All too often the real estate industry tends to rush in and say, hey, nice to meet you, let me tell you what our company can do for you because we got a great way to market your home, and we're into prescribing something rather than just stopping and listening. The whole tone of the seller counseling interview is one of, I have so much to tell you about me and my company, but before we do, I'd like to get to know you. That's what it's all about. So in this tape, what we'll talk about is how to prepare for your listings, how to establish trust with people, how to build rapport, how to determine their dominant motivation. The whole point of this first interview is to figure out who these people are, what their situation is, and from there we decide whether we go one call or two call. Big question in the industry. Should I do my listings in two calls or in one call? My answer to that, do what it works. I would recommend, however, that before you show up to that very first meeting with the seller, that you be prepared enough that if they are ready to list, that you can stay there through the full presentation of the marketing plan, CMA, and closing. Do you agree with that? Now here's the problem with that. Since you've never been to the house, the CMA you do is going to be not quite as complete, is it? So you'll be doing a little bit of winging it in the CMA. In fact, you might even get through and agree on a general price and then perhaps nail it down later. This picks up where all your prospecting left off. The owners or the prospects have said to you, yes, we would like to visit with you. Please come out tonight. Yes, you have an appointment. What should you do first? First thing you do is get all the information you can on these people. Know the area and know the market.
For the Weaver's home on Mount Curve Road, I have that information you requested for sale, sold, and expired.
Good, good, good. I was waiting for that. These people are looking for mid-fours, and I don't see it at all. Well, I'm thinking we should narrow this down to, I want to do low fours to high threes here. Some of those. And for sales, there just aren't that many, are there?
No.
Okay. Well, then let's pick out the ones in the mid-range here, and especially the ones on Mount Curve, because they'll ask about those.
All right.
So if you do those, and you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get the pricing video sent out to them and courier that, and we better do probably a 1 hour on that.
Super, great.
Good. All right, thanks. And actually, the first physical thing you do with these sellers is to create and send a pre-listing package. And in your student materials, there'll be a number of examples of things that you can put into a pre-listing packet. But at its very least, a pre-listing package contains a letter saying, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Seller, thank you so much for the opportunity of visiting with you this evening or tomorrow night, whenever. I look forward to the opportunity. What I will be doing in this interview are the following things, and what I request of you are the following things. What I need is, and what would you ask for? You know, the legal description, the property IDs, mortgage information, whatever. You could even have them pre-fill some kind of seller checklist. I know a lot of agents who do that. The purpose of a pre-listing package is to establish credibility. As you go through your listing, the first part of this is they need to trust you, and then they need to believe that you are capable of selling, and that's where you get into your marketing plan. If you show up at a home cold, having never met somebody, how long does it take till people start really trusting you? It can take quite a while. You can shorten that time through a pre-listing package. What do you put in a pre-listing package? Put in a letter, a personal brochure. You can put in what I call, not what I call, but Kenneth Blanchard calls raving fans. People who love you, think you did a great job. For those of you new to the business, you say, well, I don't have any raving fans in real estate. Well, if you've got raving fans in your life, your last job, have them write a letter. Your previous employer. Somebody says, well, I was in college. Call your professor and say, how did I do in whatever? You need to have some letters, third-party testimonials about how good you are. And from now on, for those of you who are new to the business, every time you list or sell something, get a letter from those people saying how good you are. And give them copies to go in your pre-listing package. This is one of the most basic things you should give them. The other thing you can do is have a list of all your past customers and clients by address and phone number and suggest that these people call one of your past clients. Not everyone wants to call. They may not, oh, I don't know if I want to call and bother them, so here's a technique you might try. And if you have a listing appointment tonight, Barbara, you have a listing appointment tonight. You've been in the business a long enough time, I know. You've got some people who love you, don't you?
I hope so.
Yes, you do. So imagine this. If you called one of your past sellers and said, you know, how did I do for you? What do they say?
Great.
They rave about you. You talk to them and ask a favor. Say, by the way, I've got a listing appointment tonight with some people who don't know me at all. Would you guys do me a big favor? Would you call these people and just tell them that I sold your home and just tell them how I did? First of all, would you do that?
Yes.
Would your past customers and clients agree to call your prospect tonight? And then the final question is, how do you suppose a prospect would respond to a call from one of your past clients? So there's an idea on how to establish trust. Your mission is you want trust established before you show up to the door. Somebody asked me, well, what if somebody calls me at 10 o'clock in the morning for a 2 o'clock listing presentation? What's the answer to that on pre-listing?
Pull out your already done packet and courier it over.
Courier it over. Get a package done, courier it over. There's a lot of software programs that you'll see advertised where you build pre-listing packages. Have it couriered over. That's impressive because nobody else will do that. Well, not nobody, but very few will get it over. So what else in your pre-listing package? Have your performance history. Percentage of asking price received, days on market, expiration ratios, any positive statistics that indicate to the owner that you are really good. If you have special awards, commendations in your area, you're the top agent, you achieve Rookie of the Year designate, whatever it is, put that in a pre-listing package. So when you show up, people will say, we're impressed. Thank you. Most salespeople I know are uncomfortable bragging about themselves. For me to sit down in front of you and say, well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I am so good, I am so cool, gosh, let me tell you how awesome I am. We're uncomfortable with that. But on the other hand, if it's done in print, it's easier to do. And then the opening in your seller counseling interview is, did you get my pre-listing package? What'd you think of it? And that's your start. And now it's time to show up. So let's talk about how to establish a good first impression on a seller counseling interview. Here's an advanced technique for you. Show up on time. I recommend you get there 10 to 15 minutes early. Drive around the neighborhood, check out any new for sale signs, park about a house away, and do some meditation. And get ready. And when it's right at the appointed time, you look at your watch, knock on the door, and if the first response is, well, you sure are prompt, come in. Nice start. The way to establish rapport with people is to, first of all, establish some space between you and them. The further you are away from them initially, the more comfortable they feel with you. You get too close too soon. Remember some of the old Seinfeld episodes where they used to have, the close talker? Remember, they just walk up and say, hey, thanks for coming to my house. How are you feeling right now? Yeah, she's going, I don't know.
Like I don't need a drink.
Yeah, like you don't need a dress. Yeah, going back to that metaphor. Give them some space, be patient with them. In terms of space, we talk about our relationship to them behavioral-wise. Everybody has different behavioral styles, don't they? If you get into the 4 styles, we have the expressive, the driver, the analytical, and the amiable. And we all have our different speech paces. I tend to be more relaxed. No, just kidding. And I'll tell a story. For those of you watching this video from North Carolina, I spoke at your convention, and one day I had done a keynote speech, and then I had to do a workshop right after. And my keynote speech was 90 minutes, but they ran late. They cut me short to 55 minutes, so I had to talk twice as fast as I've ever talked before. And being from Minnesota, we talk really fast because it's so cold in Minnesota. It's got dogs, frozen trees. You've got to talk really fast to get back in your house. So we learn in Minnesota to talk really fast. Well, down in North Carolina, they have a different rhythm. And I had gone to my next seminar, and a woman came up to me and said, David, I said, yes, we liked your speeches. Thanks very much. I really liked it. It was fun to work with you guys, too. It was really nice. But, David, I was just wondering if I could ask you a question. Oh, I'd be happy to ask a question. I could just get to what can I answer for you? Do you hear how I am talking to you right now? And I said, yeah, I can hear everything you say. Yeah, I can hear what you say. Well, that is how we listen, too. And she became a very good client of ours, as a matter of fact, and we still joke about that the difference in cultures and speech patterns around the country. So when you walk into a seller's home, you need to pay attention to where they are. You must be Walt.
Yeah, glad to meet you, David. How are you?
Nice to meet you. I appreciate the both of you having me over. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Just fine. Excited to meet you, and I noticed your art. Someone is into sailing, is that true?
Yeah.
We won't tell them about the time the boat dumped, right?
Yeah, Life of National Geographic. Yeah. We travel a lot to on charts there, right? Yeah,
But
do a little
do
sailing.
you sail?
Yeah, do a little sailing.
Oh, good.
Actually, I prefer my feet on land.
You do.
Yeah, I'll go to the golf course.
Well, I understand. By the way, how do you know Bill Cooper? Or how long have you known him?
Oh, I wanted to come to the company 8, 9 years ago.
Is that right?
Something, yeah.
Okay.
He's really a nice man.
Yeah, he is.
He and Janet, yeah, we get together once in a while. Yeah.
Now, how do you know him?
I sold his house and I helped him buy another one. So we went through a lot together.
Oh, good.
And so I called him up and asked him who he might know, and that's how I got your name. And said you might be interested in moving, and that's what got us to here.
Yeah, and Bill and I had lunch together yesterday, too, and so he gave me the lowdown on you, too.
Oh, yeah. What, did he say anything bad about me?
Oh, I don't know. I can't reveal that. No, it was all good.
Well, good. Well, that's, so much of our business is done by referrals, and we try to do a good job for our customers and clients and hope that maybe you will also refer me to somebody else.
Well, yeah, we were sort of thinking, we might sell it by ourselves too, but I don't know. We're pretty busy nowadays, aren't we?
Yeah, to say the least.
Well, that's certainly, it's an option that's open
Yeah.
to you, and I can take you through that, ask you some questions about it, and see how you feel about it.
Yeah, well, we wanted to hear what you had to say, all right? And, take a look at the place and see what you think.
Next rule of building rapport, somebody's eye contact. Maintain eye contact at all times. Not too much, not staring, but a nice, gentle eye contact. Scan the people, pay attention to both spouses. The smile, clearly there's no better form of rapport than just smiling at people. When you walk into the front door of the home, if you can say something nice about them, about their yard, something as you look at the home, find out what it is that they're proud of. Look for something in common. As you walk into the home, I recommend you look at the pictures on the walls, because that will tell you who these people are. If every picture is of their daughters on horses, there's your in. In fact, you don't even have to say anything. All you have to do is walk up and look at the picture. What will they say? Yeah, those are our 2 daughters. They started riding when they were 3. Really? Tell me about that. And now you're talking about their daughters and horseback riding. As a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons we're selling, because we want to be out in the country, whatever. If they're skiers, who's the skier? Whatever it is, look for that personal item in their home that you can start establishing rapport. Listen with interest. And by the way, the best way to establish rapport with another human being is physical touch. And even as I say that, I think, what is the liability of this technique? So clearly, contextually, appropriately, but if I get to know somebody and I come around and I present a CMA and I just go, gosh, I wish the prices were higher for you. If you want to see how rapport works from touch, go ahead and just pat your partner on the shoulder. Just give a little tap on the shoulder. Go ahead, and she missed that. Even shaking hands, there's 2 ways to shake hands. One is the clinical, very nice to meet you. And is there a warmer way to shake hands? Good to see you. It's such a pleasure to meet you. Just one hand on their arm. It's a softer, more gentle way. So consider those items when you're building rapport. The next step in the seller counseling interview is to establish trust with people. I'll never forget, years ago, I had a guy in a seminar once said, David, you got any good techniques to get people to trust me? So try this one. Tell the truth. It's an interesting concept. Always tell the truth. How do you know, or how do people know when you're telling the truth? What kind of statements do you suppose let people know you're telling the truth? The answer is when you divulge some weakness about yourself. People know you must be telling the truth if you're willing to reveal to them that there's something about you or your company that I just need to let you know. No different than a waiter saying, I'm ready to take your order, but before I do, I should let you know. The beef is really well done tonight. If you're looking for rare beef, I don't recommend it. How do you feel about a waiter that does that? You trust the waiter because they divulged a weakness. They told the truth about something that isn't perfect. Now, this is not a seminar on how to walk into a seller and say, I'm one of the worst real estate agents you will ever see. It's a seminar on how to say, it's a seminar on saying, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we may not be the largest company that you'll talk to in this market, but I can certainly assure you we are and you fill in the blank with your strong suit. You can say, what you'll find is we're not maybe the least expensive real estate agent you'll talk to, but I think you'll find that we provide the most services, and ultimately we find you'll think those are valuable. So sometimes you can reveal a weakness very carefully, and that's how you establish trust with people. Divulge some weakness early. In the listing process, what we want to do is separate price from listing. Now, in the video on pricing later in this series, I will go into complete overkill on how to get your listings priced right. But the most important thing you can do on your first meeting is to separate your price from the listing. When do most owners ask you the price of the property? right after you've seen the property. If you want to delay them asking the question, what do you think my home is worth, what would you delay?
What would I delay?
You would delay the tour of the property. And in the clip that we're getting to, I will show you how we demonstrate the 6 steps of the listing process where in that moment I tell sellers we're doing price last.
Do you need to see the house first, or?
Well, actually, as I said, I'd like to just wait after we chat. I'll go through, because that's going to take a while. I want to take some notes and really do a detailed analysis of your property. In fact, that leads me to, let's take you through an overview of what I plan on doing this evening. And it's been, how long have you lived here now?
Oh, 11 years.
11 years, yeah.
11 years. So it's been a while since you've been through this whole process. So if I'd like to take you through the steps from beginning to end and the steps of listing your home.
Oh,
And,
boy.
by the way, did you get the package that I sent over?
Oh, yeah, thanks very much. Yeah.
And did you get a chance to watch the video on pricing?
Well, yeah. We have our ideas, and I don't know.
All right. Well, let me give you an overview. First of all, the first step that I do in marketing property is preparation and research. And I've been doing that since you and I talked the other night, and examining your area and getting ready to meet with you. Second step is the initial visit, which is right now, our chance to get to know each other.
Yeah.
The third step is perhaps the most important. As with any doctor, they'll diagnose before they prescribe. And tonight, my purpose is to establish your motivation for moving, your objectives, and to really find out what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And only then can I move to the next step, and that is for you to look at the marketing plan that I've created, for you to examine it. And after that, it's then the ball's back in your court to select a real estate agent. And obviously, I hope you select me. My mission tonight is to present to you a marketing plan where you go, yeah, you feel that I'd be competent to do that. And the last thing I do is to establish the asking price for your home. Now, we're very aware that that's perhaps one of the most critical decisions made.
It's definitely critical.
Yeah.
And I do keep it at the end. And the reason I do that is too many homeowners today make their decision on hiring a real estate agent based on price. And they'll interview 2 or 3 companies, and then they say, well, let's see who can bid for the listing. So what I try to do is let's first of all decide whether or not you and I can work together, and if you feel comfortable with that. And if we do, then it's a whole other process of coming up with a price for your home. How do you feel about that?
Sounds like a plan to me, yeah.
In this video, we show the easy way, where they just go, well, you know, price is important to us. And I say, I acknowledge that, but we'll be doing it as soon as we agree on a marketing plan. And they say, well, okay. In the pricing section of these videos, you'll see the tough ways. In fact, that's one of the most powerful videos we'll do in this series, is how to get the listing price right. Your mission today is to get only saleable listings. And your questioning here is into their motivation, and I want to find out, do these people really want to move? One of the early questions you want to ask someone is, have you definitely decided to move at this time? Very early question. Have you folks definitely decided to move at this time? And they might say, well, actually not. We found our transfer's been delayed about 3 or 4 months. Should you do a 1-call or a 2-call, as I raised earlier? The answer is, what would cause a 2-call? What are some things that when you go to the home, you know you cannot close for the listing, you'll have to return? What are some obvious things? They're talking to other realtors. Might make it a 2-call, but maybe not. Maybe not. I appreciate the fact you're talking to the real estate agents, but if you and I agree on a marketing plan that you are so comfortable with, is it possible that you folks may just shorten the process, list with me, and we'll delay those appointments or have me call them? The other realtors competing doesn't mean you'll lose it. But one of the things for sure makes it a 2-call is you've only got one spouse there. And if there's 2 owners and only one is there, it's probably a 2-call. So once you go to a 2-call, what will you need to do? You'll need to withhold enough information to have a reason to return. 2 things you withhold. 1, marketing plan, and number 2, the price and the CMA. And my philosophy of listing is to not do a CMA until you are about 99% sure that they are committed to listing with you.
All right, I'm still a little nervous. Just after living here for all these years, I know I don't. It's hard to think about moving and leaving your neighborhood and the kids.
Yeah, well, Michael's going to have a problem with it. He's our 16-year-old, soon to be 17, going on 33.
You mind if I take some notes? I want to take some notes while we're
Sure.
chatting here. So Michael is your son.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's soon to be 17.
Okay. 17.
Yeah.
And what other children do you have?
Oh, we have Lynn, and she's in college already. And that's one of the other things, too. I mean, we're, paying for college.
Okay. Yeah,
That's expensive.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah. So we have to make sure that we get enough money from our, living here and paying for her and the move. And, I mean, there's just a lot of expenses that are involved with this whole
Right.
process, so. But she is away at school.
Okay. Have you definitely decided to move at this time?
Yes, I think it's a, yeah, we have.
So
It's
that is-
not easy, but it's got to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a for sure. You've definitely decided to make the move.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
And so tell me, where are you moving then?
Seattle area.
Seattle. What a beautiful area.
Yeah, Redmond.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, and what's the situation there?
A little pricier than we thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, the West Coast is just, yeah. Well, we were hoping, that this area too would, go up in our value
Well,
too, but
We've heard some ugly rumors.
yeah.
No, Seattle has obviously been a very highly appreciating market. This market hasn't been quite as strong.
Yeah, that's what we've heard. We've heard some different rumors from people that have been trying to sell their homes. So
But you've not started looking there
Let's start looking where, I'm sorry.
in the Seattle Redmond area. Have you put your
Cursory overviews, yeah. No, we've seen some papers.
well, your
and-
company has that relocation firm that they were going to refer us to, but
Yeah, they've sent some lists that we've looked at.
Yeah.
But,
Well, that's another issue. We have affiliations through our relocation division all over the United States, and if you'd like another opinion, another person to contact, that's something I can arrange for you as well. Would you be interested in that?
yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Check out all the options.
All right.
Well, they have
So
multiples out there too, so it would be the same, right? It would be the same with the multiple listing that they have here.
Oh yeah,
too.
multiple listing services all over. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
still, you work with pick one broker or one agent, and they'll work with all the rest.
Okay,
It's
good.
Same as here.
All right.
So tell me, what will you be doing in Seattle? What's causing the move?
What's causing the move? Merger mania. Yeah, no, the handwriting's on the wall.
How so?
Redundancy, I guess,
Okay, well, tell me more about the job you're going to. Why you decided to take that?
Well, we looked at the options that were available. The company that I'm with now, they offered a position, but
It just wasn't enough.
no. It didn't
You
offer
probably
the
phased that
challenges
one
I
out,
needed,
too.
and
So the merger
it was
is causing
just
your
it was a
existing
lateral
job.
move, and wasn't going to help me, and I wouldn't be happy there. You get to a point in your life too. Besides, you want to do some good work too, something that has some meaning, something that also is going to pay the bills still, and where you hope for a little bit of security, and still build that nest egg, the investments that we're going to need, 10 years from now or so, when we do decide to hang it up and. That little cabin out in the mountains someplace.
So you felt that by staying in your present job, you wouldn't be able to do that, or at least the lateral
The
one
position
offered
that
you?
they offered, no, it just didn't offer that kind of satisfaction or growth potential that I thought. And the thing is, and then Margie has, just gotten back into her profession here too.
Yeah, tell me about yours, Margie.
Well, I'm a registered nurse. So I'm going back into the profession more full strength, and hopefully there'll be positions out in the Washington area too.
So this hasn't been an easy decision,
Yeah.
and it's.
Well, I guess that's why I'm always curious. When I see somebody in a beautiful home like this for 11 years and all of a sudden pack up and move, why would someone do that? And
That's what Michael said. Why are you doing this, Dad?
Yeah, how does he
You're
feel about
ruining my life.
I know it's been a while since you've moved, but when you think of all the services that a realtor provides, what do you consider to be the most important? What do you look for from a real estate agent?
It's a personal relationship,
Yeah.
That's the first thing in my mind. I think we all size each other up. Can I trust this person? This person have their ducks in a row? Are they competent, professional? Do they know the market thoroughly?
what kind of work are you going to do for us? Open houses, the advertisement.
Okay. Well, those are all reasonable expectations to have from a real estate company.
I think too, availability. I know a friend of mine was talking, and she said, "Boy, she listed with this person, and she never ever heard. She just didn't hear back. There were no open houses. There wasn't anything. So, availability on your part, responsiveness to
Communications,
us.
I think, open communications and communicating is critical.
How soon would you like this all to happen? How do you see that happening?
Well, you have to be there when.
Well, ASAP, I've got to get out
Yeah.
there, and in a couple of weeks, I'm thinking that I've got to at least move, and we've probably got a window of a couple of months.
And what I'd like to do next is have you give me the grand tour of your home, and I'm going to take some notes and take some measurements, and the next step would be for me to present a marketing plan to show you answer the question, what do we do to sell a home? How do we get the highest amount of money? How do we do it in a reasonable period of time so you meet your deadlines? And if we agree upon a marketing plan, then the final step would say, all right, let's establish an asking price. Okay, how did you like that setup? Let's just review what happened. First of all, anyone pick up their motivations for moving? This is key. Pardon, a job? But see, now, by the way, a job is not a motion. Motivation. When you ask people, why are you moving? Job or transfer? Job is a reason. It's not a motivation. Take me to the next step deeper. Let's see if...
Needed more money for his college education.
Okay, he took a job for more money for kids because he loves the children he wants to provide for them. So a job is a reason. Money is a reason. Kids is the motivation. What else did you see?
Ultimately, part of the job. You thought the next job sounded like it was more fulfilling.
Exactly. He said something about, I want my life to have meaning. People want to leave a legacy. That's a real deep motivation when somebody says, I don't want to just do a job. I want to do something that's meaningful. So meaningful work came out of that. Those are the things you want to listen for. Because then later on in a listing presentation, when somebody wants to overprice it or go to another realtor, you can say, you know, you said to me earlier that you want to get your children settled in school and more job, and this is how I help you get that. And to really get the opportunity in your life to do a job that has meaning for you, the way to do that is to hire a real estate company who can do this, this, and this for you. That's why this interview is so important. And I hope you noticed, when I asked what are the expectations of a real estate company, did you hear that question? And did you hear what they said to that? They wrote my listing presentation. You just sit back, all right, tell me another one, tell me another one. They gave me 7 points that I can use in a listing presentation. Everybody wonders, what do I say in a listing presentation? Don't worry, they'll tell you. That's the joy of this. So, summary of what we cover in this interview. I want to cover urgency. You heard me ask how soon they want to move. Their opinion of value, I didn't really get into, but that is another question you could ask. Let me ask you folks, what price had you planned for your home? What previous experience have you had? What do you expect from a real estate agent? And getting into the dominant motivations of why they move. So if you master this interview, the listing presentation will be easy. It will be so easy. And I want to close on this final point. The way this video ended right now, did it sound like a one call or two call to you? If it left it ambiguous, that was my goal. But I want to make this point. Right when I said the next is to tour your property. It is your option. This is an audible at the line of scrimmage. I could either stay there right tonight, do the tour of the property, do the CMA, and list the property. The way these tapes are being constructed, I'm treating it as a one call. But a very important point. If you feel this two-call approach, this would be the point to depart. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I think I understand your situation. What I would like to do is return to prepare a marketing plan and a CMA, and I'll return at your convenience. How about 8 o'clock tonight? And we'll present the listing plan. So that concludes our session on the seller counseling interview. And in the next video, we'll pick up where we left off and show how to do the listing presentation to Walt and Margie.